brand new video, and this is the first video of the year 2021. So usually the new year means that Samsung is getting to launch its S series devices around mid-February, but this year they went ahead early and already launched the S21 series on the 14th of this month. So currently we're in this pre-order period and it won't be available until the 29th of January. But if you're one of those people wondering whether or not you should buy the S21 series or planning to buy it in the near future, you're in the right place, because I'm going to discuss the S21 series in detail, and by the end of this video you will be pretty sure whether or not you want to get it. And also I'm going to do a full comparison with last year's S20 series, because in terms of hardware the S21 series pretty much shares the same hardware as last year. So this is the S20 Plus from last year, and this has been my daily driver for most part of 2020, and I've spent a lot of time with this phone, and I can tell you in detail about what this phone, are the pros and cons of this phone, and also how much of an upgrade or a downgrade is the S21 series. So yeah, watch this video until the very end.
Now normally I wouldn't show you the unboxing of the previous generation phone, but here it is important because there is a big difference between the two generations. Both boxes remain identical in terms of the same black color with the S21 S21 branding on them, pretty minimal. However, their thickness is significantly different. So inside the S20 box we are greeted with the phone, of course. Then there is some paperwork with the SIM ejector tool and a clear case. Underneath we get these headphones by AKG, which really do sound great. They come with a Type-C braided cable, and unfortunately they have been skipped in the S21 box. Next we get this 25-watt super fast charger in the S20 and S21 Plus, and a 45-watt charger for the S20 Ultra. The new S21 series supports the same speeds, but the chargers are not included in the box anymore. And finally we get this Type-C to Type-C cable, which is the only thing that still makes it in the S21 box. Now the S20 series has been updated to Android 11 and runs Samsung's One UI 3.0 and are powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 or the Exynos 990 like in India. Both the chips are based on the 7nm architecture, whereas the new S21 series runs the 5nm process chipsets, the Snapdragon 888 or the Exynos 2100. They come out of the box with Android 11 and One UI 3.1 preloaded. Now design is probably the biggest upgrade in the S21 series. Last year, Samsung made huge leaps in terms of hardware with the S20, but the design in my opinion was a huge letdown. Limited colors and protruding camera bumps weren't exactly pleasing to the eye. This understated black color was my pick of the lot. Now the entire lineup came with Gorilla Glass 6 protection on both the front and the back, while the sides were made of aluminum. The three phones came in three sizes: 6.2 inches for the vanilla S20, 6.7 inches for the S20 Plus, and a massive 6.9 inches for the Ultra. The S21 series on the other hand comes in the exact same sizes except the Ultra, which now comes in a 6.8 inch body. Now this glossy back of the S20 series meant it was prone to smudges. Now thankfully that changes with the S21 series, which comes in an all new design and gorgeous matte finishes at the back. The vanilla S20 has a polycarbonate back though this time, but still looks good in the matte finish. It gets Gorilla Glass Victus protection at the front like its other two siblings, who get Gorilla Glass Victus at the back too, while the sides are still aluminium. And that metal frame now wraps around the camera bump in what Samsung is calling the contour design, which looks amazing, especially in this dual tone finish of this violet and gold S21 Plus. The Ultra comes in a phantom silver and this phantom black, which is hands down the most exceptional color I have seen on any phone. Now both series of phones have dual SIM support and have industry-leading stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos sound, and the best vibration motors I've used on any phone, and that includes iPhones. The haptic feedback on this phone is beyond exceptional. Now the SIM card tray was on top in the S20 and is at the bottom for the S21 series. However, while the S20 series supported microSD expansion up to 1TB, the S21 series does not support external storage, which broke my heart and in my opinion is the biggest downgrade in the S21 series. The S21 and the S21 Plus gets 8GB RAM coupled with 128 or 256 storage, while the Ultra gets 12GB RAM for the base storage, that is 128GB and the 256GB storage variants, and there is a bigger 512GB variant with a massive 16GB of RAM. A few other favorite Samsung features carries over to the S21 series, which includes IP68 water resistance, wireless charging support, and the reverse wireless power share, which is really handy at times. And also the always on display is there, and the secure ultrasonic fingerprint sensor that works well even with oil, water, powder and whatnot is actually now almost twice as big on the S21 series thanks to the new chipsets. Talking about chipsets, both the Snapdragon 888 and the Exynos 2100 are based on 5nm processors. We'll discuss the Exynos since that's what we get in India. Now last year the Exynos 990 was a huge letdown in comparison to the Snapdragon 865. Even though I game on the S20 Plus without any major heating issue and the battery life is pretty decent for me, yet it is just sad to know that the Snapdragon version was almost 20 to 30% better in terms of performance, battery life and heat management. However, this year Samsung has recovered lost ground and on paper the discrepancies between the two processors are almost gone. Built on the 5nm process, the Exynos 2100 is an octa-core processor with 2.9 GHz clock speed on the ARM Cortex X1. 3 Cortex A71 cores are there next, clocked at 2.8 GHz, and below 4 Cortex A55 cores at 2.2 GHz. The Mali GPU has 14 cores, and in total the CPU is 20% faster, the GPU is 35% faster, and you also get a 2 times faster NPU. Coupled with this, the knock security which Samsung provides is one of the best in Android, probably the best in Android, so this is a huge improvement. Moving on to battery life, the S21 Ultra gets the same 5000 mAh battery as its predecessor. The S21 Plus gets the same 4000 mAh battery as well, but the S21 Plus gets a slight bump with 4800 mAh compared to the 4500 on the S20 Plus. There is also UFS 3.1 storage on all three models. Next up is the screen. Both series have the same Infinity O camera cutout in front, housed on the same dynamic AMOLED 2x screen, which is the best smartphone screen on any phone on the market. Now both series of phones have a 120Hz refresh rate. The S20 series could refresh at a 120Hz but only on Full HD resolution, but had the option to have a Quad HD resolution given if you bring down the refresh rate to 60Hz. This year, surprisingly, Samsung reduced the resolution of the vanilla S21 and the S21 Plus to only a Full HD Plus, but the refresh rate however can adapt between a 120Hz to a 44Hz depending on what you're watching. Can't believe Samsung actually didn't give the Quad HD resolution on them. It is horrible if you ask me. But anyway, the Ultra gets a 120Hz refresh rate and a Quad HD resolution, and its LTPO technology can actually switch the refresh rate from a 120Hz down to a 1Hz, which if you couple with the new chipset will definitely give better battery life. Now talking about brightness, the S20 and S20 Plus had peak brightness of 1200 nits, while the Ultra had a peak brightness of 1342 nits. This year we get even brighter screens with 1300 nits on the S21 and S21 Plus and a whooping 1600 nits on the Ultra. This display is unbeatable, the outdoor visibility is excellent, and watching content on this is the best you can get out of any smartphone. Finally, getting onto the cameras. First up, the S21 and S21 Plus gets the exact same camera hardware from their predecessors. A 12 megapixel wide with f1.8 with OIS, a 12 megapixel ultra wide with f2.2, and a 64 megapixel telephoto with f2.0 with OIS. The front houses the same 10 megapixel f2.2 selfie camera. There was also a fourth camera on the S20 Plus, a depth vision camera for getting better portraits. Maybe I'll do a full camera comparison sometime later, but here are a few samples from the S20 Plus's camera. The S20 Plus's camera performed excellently on bright conditions. The dynamic range, as you can see, is excellent. The saturation is a bit over the top, as Samsung always does that, but nevertheless great pictures from all three cameras. Even the night mode capabilities are exceptional. Now, something else Samsung marketed on the S20 series was the zoom capabilities. And even though the S20 Plus cannot zoom like the Ultra at 100x, even the 30x is crazy, like this photo at 1x. Here is it at 4x. Here is a 10x shot, and now a 30x. Here's another one which will really blow your mind away. Now coming to the videos, this is a video recorded by the primary camera at the S20 Plus. And now this is another one with EIS on, OIS on, and this is me literally running on the stairs. Now this is a 4K video So there are options for recording 4K at 30 fps and 60 fps, and even S20 Plus the S20 series bought 8K video recording at 25 fps, which is crazy if you think about it. Also, I don't know where you lose this, but yeah, you can get exceptional 8K snaps like this one. Now coming to human subjects, again exceptional photos in all lighting conditions, external portrait shots at low lights, even at low lights, and even portrait videos which Samsung calls live focus on both the front camera and the rear camera. The selfie camera could have been a little better, given it is a flagship. There's also slow motion, super slow motion mode, and also my most favorite feature, the single take feature, where you take a video for 10 seconds and the AI automatically processes some crazy amazing shots with different filters and different boomerangs and everything, which is really really cool. So overall, this is an exceptional camera, very powerful, and should get even better with the S21 series. Now there's another thing that I really loved, basically a zoom in microphone. So basically, if you zoom into a particular area of your video, the microphone will pick up noise from that exact area. And this is also a pretty cool feature that I found on the S20 series. So that's about it from the camera perspective. Coming to the S21 Ultra's camera, this is where Samsung has again gone all in. So we get 5 cameras at the back basically. So the first is an updated HM3 sensor for the primary 108 megapixel camera with f1.8 OIS. Next is a 12 megapixel ultra wide with f2.2. Then there are two telephoto cameras. The first one is a 3x 10 megapixel 2.4 with OIS, and a periscope 10 megapixel f4.9 with OIS. And finally, there's a laser autofocus to correct the autofocusing issues that we had with the S20 Ultra. As you can see, 8K videos have again improved on this one, and on the front we get the same 40 megapixel selfie camera. Also, there is a new director's mode. Basically, you can record video simultaneously from all cameras and even the front camera, so that's pretty cool. And the 108 megapixel obviously has improved a lot, and even the zooming, the 100x zoom has improved uh, tremendously. This is one shot from last year's S20 Ultra that I could get my hands on. Pretty amazing if you tell me. And there are also improvements in the night mode, so we should get better night mode photos, which I hope translates into reality. And finally, we can record 60 fps from all 4 different cameras, so that is pretty cool. And also finally, there is an S Pen support for the S20 Ultra. This is the first time an S Pen is working on the S series of phones. There's going to be an S Pen Pro coming later this year, but there's no place to house the S Pen inside the phone, so yeah, you have to buy a case separately, which makes no sense to me. Also, all the 3 phones are 5G capable, as both the chipsets have a 5G modem embedded into it. So that's pretty much it for the S21 Ultra. On the software side of things, the S21 series will come with One UI 3.1 based on Android 11. Now, since the S20 series is currently running One UI 3.0 based on Android 11, so we already know pretty much what to expect. Now, I like how notifications are arranged in Android 11. Also, One UI is my favorite Android skin. It's definitely not as clean as stock Android or say Oxygen OS, but something Samsung provides is a lot of features which I actually find very useful, like Samsung Text, one-handed mode, link to Windows. Now, most of the preloaded apps are from Microsoft and Samsung's own apps, and some of them are really important for me, like Samsung Pay, which is my default payments app, especially for a feature called MST or Magnetic Secure Transmission, which helps me make card payments without physically using my card. Now, this is very useful in card readers that do not have NFC, but Samsung weirdly got rid of this too on the S21 series, saying that NFC has become common everywhere and MST isn't needed anymore, which is definitely not the case as far as I know. So finally, to conclude with the prices, the S20 series was priced at 67,000 for the vanilla S20, 74,000 for the S20 Plus, and 93,000 for the Ultra, which are now all discontinued in India, but you can still find them in offline stores and even in Flipkart for some crazy offer prices. Now, Samsung made these trade-offs in the S21 series to lower their costs, and they have done so globally. But in India, weirdly, they have increased the prices, which makes no sense to me. The S21 is priced at 70,000. The S21 Plus base model is priced at 85,000, and then the S21 Ultra with 256 GB storage is priced at 1,06,000. Anyway guys, that was one long video, but I literally explained everything in this video. Drop a like if you found this useful, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Goodbye.